Looking flustered, Barnaby palms his face. The adult falls in silence. Oh, don't tell me Ferdia is in on this. Cyrus glanced at me in quick bursts, his expression glowing increasingly concerned. What if we both heard this right? Barnaby is suggesting that Brighton has friends. You allied with Ferdia? Barnaby pants, clearly unused to breaking face. It's only temporary. You can't believe that. We had no other choice. We couldn't fund the research on our own. That doesn't matter. Don't you realize? We can't trust them. They understand us. Ferdia will stomp us into the dust once this is over. We'll have to deal with that as it comes. Once more they fall silent. This just changed everything. How could we have gone and done that? To what leagues of desperation has this nation fallen? Barnaby, sweating, finally speaks again. I'm sorry. Crap almighty. What are we going to do now? With this, Gabriel isn't a threat at all. Those powerful weapons and that vicious nation's backing, Gabriel is just screwed. A hopelessness settled into me as I realized how out of control the situation has become with one revelation. It looks now that no matter what, there will be killings. Then you ask for the military to keep Gabriel out of suspicion. Yes. Kill two birds with one stone that way, huh? Yes. Cyrus shakes his head as though the ridiculousness of this situation is simply too much to take. He dropped his gun on, signifying his relinquishment. President Barnaby. He looks at me like he forgot I was in the room. I probably don't need to tell you how much you ruined us. You're going to annihilate an absolute slaughter this way. Initiate an absolute annihilate. Wow. Initiate an absolute slaughter this way. And at the end of the day, Ferdia will just slaughter us too. I understand your desperation, but I think you don't give Gabriel enough credit. Both pairs of eyes are now on me, and I feel very pressured to speak convincingly. It really is now or never. It's certainly hard living the way we do. My dad works almost constantly, and we really do always have to worry about things like starving and all that. You really got to remember, though, that you're about to bite the hand that feeds us. They gave us an opening, and as such as you think it's a joke, we celebrate it for a reason. I'm sure, and I'm positive, that if you were to just keep fighting for us, then maybe we could change more things. So, you're his daughter. I nod hesitantly. Barnaby shakes his head in a slower manner, reflective of Cyrus' earlier movement. This is just the strangest thing. Well, do you have anything to suggest, girl? Some options I might have missed? Well, no, I don't. I was sort of hoping to appeal to his heart. I don't have anything to offer that he wasn't already considered, I bet. Also, what's with the mistake of his union with that nation on the border? I'm pretty sure there is nothing I can suggest to save this place. Still, he seems to want me to answer, and Sayo isn't stepping in. Is there anything I think he missed? Obviously not talking to Gabriel. Gabriel hasn't responded. We were right then. Gabriel will use Brighton actions to justify violent reaction. Mercy. What do their people think? Setting aside that they're likely underestimating this country, let us imagine that they knew full well that Brighton posed an actual threat. Would they be willing to go to war? To perhaps die? To just subjugate Brighton once again? I mean, didn't Cyrus say that even Brighton's people don't want this? Why should those of Gabrea? They aren't even militaristic. They must believe that Brighton is nearly as dangerous as it actually is. These nuclear weapons have never existed before, right? Then what Brighton needs to do is make Gabrea take them seriously, to inform the public of their abilities. You could always launch it. He raises his eyebrow. I mean, somewhere else. Where do you suggest? Somewhere where it wouldn't kill anyone? You want me to fire a warning shot? Yes. Gabrea is probably just waiting for us to attack so they can retaliate and put us on an even tighter leash. However, if they and their people had a demonstration of the destructive power of the bomb, then I think... Barnaby heaves a mighty sigh. Sorry to say, little girl, but that option has already been considered and rejected. Why? We can't afford it. Let's just say that our supply of warhead is limited and that production costs are rather high. What's a warhead? Another name for the bomb. Oh, of course. Even with the funding Ferdier has given us, we could only make so many. Aside from the monstrous monetary costs, the materials are particularly difficult to procure and time-consuming to process. We simply cannot afford to be wasteful. We will need every weapon available for whatever threats could be coming. Gabrian, or I hate to say it, Ferdian. Well, it wouldn't be wasteful. It would be to scare them and avoid this whole thing. I know what you would intend them for, but I'm afraid that objectively it would be a waste. If I may interject, we are both surprised that Cyrus still has a voice. The bomb is untested. Practically, if we had done a full-scale test, our cover would have been blown. Then there really never have been anything like this before. Pardon me, but I don't follow science. That's right. While Gabrea and other nations have tampered with nuclear fusion, it was never been applied to weaponry this successfully. According to our scientists, our largest bomb could be enough to wipe out their capital. Ah, hearing that still makes my head spin. All of Gabrea? Isn't it just a bomb? No, a conventional bomb. Well, it's no wonder Gabrea isn't listening. No one understands what this thing is. Were you just plan on surprising them? How disgusting. The lives we take in our attack would be nothing compared to the losses we have suffered under their rule. No statistics have ever been released, but upwards of 100,000 die every year from poverty in our country. What? To put that in perspective, our nation's population is numbered at 34 million in that small ass space? My God. And an estimate 5 million have been lost in just the last 60 years. 47% of this nation's lives in poverty, and the rest still suffer under pitiful wages. Sacrificing the city of Gabrea is, in an instant, a mere 3 million. I would sleep any worse for it. That's stupid! Winter, not now. It is though. What terrifying numbers. And he wants to raise them? What does that even prove? She's right though. That is very stupid. Mr. President, stop thinking so little of other lives. Funny you say that. Gabrea has hurt us, but what will we turn the favor accomplished. You're only going to breed more hate. We have a military, we have Ferdia, and as if those aren't enough, if it seems we have more than one sea-leveling bomb. Reconsider already. Just launch it into the ocean and let them realize that what we're capable of. Anyone will fear the weapons we harbor, and you will have no reason not to brandish them. You could spare those 3 million lives. You don't have to sacrifice them to make a point. Even if I did agree, I don't know if I have that kind of power. Oh please, don't act weak now. Talk with your advisors, make new calls, and make the Brayans piss themselves in terror. In the aftermath, I get the feeling they'd be more than willing to talk. Hell, they'll even give us more than what we ever asked for. Just give them that chance. I will do what I can then. Really? The president reached up and compresses part of his collar between 2 fingers. Call off the launch for now. We're having a conference immediately. This is an executive command from President Jonathan Barnaby. Call X374. It's done. We will reconsider the issue. However, we'll need to make a decision quickly, and if it changes from the one we already made, I'm frankly not sure how the Ferdians will take it. But we can't allow them to control us. I'm not shedding a master just to take a new one. We should not charge headlong into war just for slights against us. We should retain our identity as Brightons, just as you two. Then we're honorary Brightons now? What a badge of shame. Speaking of you two, I appreciate it if you use whatever way you got in to get out of here. Whatever organization you're part of. Well, I just assume that you are, but I think it would be best if you remain anonymous. I could agree. Cyrus turns and walks a few steps before stopping to scrutinize the rug. He breaks his gaze from it and calls back to Barnaby. Hey. Yes? Thanks for actually listening to us. Thanks for not shooting me. Watch it. I didn't promise I wouldn't bust any kneecaps. This worried me for a second, but as it turns out, his weapon's already put away. So they just teleport out right in front of the president's face. Okay. With Barnaby's husky laughter in our ears, we shift from the room. This seems to be back where we started. Cyrus stands next to me, still and somber. I look at him confused. For someone who just solved a problem, he seemed genuinely quietly distraught. Is something the matter? Quite frankly, yes. We're missing something. Something key here. Hold on. What? He begins to consult his ICD, apparently searching through his codex for what his eyes movement suggests. What exactly could be the problem? As far as I know, we'll still need to have someone mediate the situation between Capri and Brighton, and potentially that between Brighton and Ferdia. But the threat of nuclear destruction should be out of the way for now. I opened my own codex, scanning through the history of this world and such. The minutes passed by slowly, and neither of us speak. Finally, after going through many entries, I look away from my wrist. I couldn't find anything that seemed to be out of the ordinary. That can't be right. Sir? Completely ignoring me, his head swishes from left to the left, and he stares at the wall of television intensely. I follow, perplexed. And while called off for the moment, it seems that President Barnaby still wants the world to be aware of that His threat was very real. Therefore, he has announced that within 20 minutes, Brighton will be demonstrating the true power of their bomb, setting off in the Northern Sea. This will be the first large-scale test of this device, as Brighton was earlier unwilling due to heavy scrutiny under the brain surveillance. Our science correspondent, Samuel Urey, will explain the concept behind this weapon, dubbed the fusion bomb. Out of the corner of my eye, I can see Cyrus biting his teeth. In the back of my mind, something tells me to be very worried right now. Thanks, Scott. Now, if you viewers would care to listen, I'll tell you all that is known for the theory. Now, some of you may know about science behind our nuclear power plants. The same theory employed these fusion reactors is employed in the bomb developed by Brighton scientists. Similar to how stars are born, the bomb generates its destructive power through the fusion of atomic nuclei, creating atoms of even larger mass. Firstly, at the center of the device, the bomb initiates an extreme compression of a small space filled with gases and fuel. The ludicrously high temperature and pressure resulting then start a powerful proton chain reaction. This reaction is strong enough to fuse atoms within, beginning the primary process for which this weapon gained its name, nuclear fusion. Nuclear fusion releases an immense amount of energy, destructive power thousands of magnitude greater than conventional weapons. In fact, with enough reactants, the energy released could actually start off a genuine star. Of course, scientists theorize there isn't enough fuel on the entire planet to accomplish such a feat. But I'm blathering. I doubt you viewers even know what I'm talking about. We'll start by discussing atoms. Oh god, silent lesson on the news. Sir? What? That doesn't really sound like the bomb I read about. Damn it, I should have guessed. This role is a bloody outlier in every other regard. Is this the pure fusion bomb Cyrus has mentioned? Creating a star sounds very risky. Cyrus does not seem to like the possibility. But there's no way they had used enough reactants, right? The person on screen said there's no possibility of such a thing. I opened my mouth to confirm my suspicion with Cyrus, but just as I'm about to, I find that we're teleporting. We are moved to the president's office in an instant before I'm even aware of why. I quickly realized we came here to stop Barnaby, and both of us immediately start looking around the room in desperation, but the president is gone. Fuck. Stay here. I'm going to look for someone. Ah, sir, wait! He rushes out of the room, leaving me here alone to worry. I look out the window, now intensely frightened. Getting the normally cool Cyrus into such a heat could only mean that something absolutely irrevocable is about to happen. In the first place, should we even have to worry? Surely their theory will hold up. Surely that's the case, right? I stand alone for several minutes, glancing severely at my watch, growing more and more agitated as time crawls by. Sam returned after 15 minutes. There isn't anybody here, just a damn receptionist who won't say anything. Support, listen to me. This situation is nearly out of control. Do you have anything? He walks away from me to a corner. Again, I look out through my codex, hoping there is something that I missed earlier, hoping they didn't use enough reactant, hoping that I have nothing to worry about. In a few minutes, the horizon is aglow. It must have gone off. I stared into the brilliant hue, pleading to anyone that it will end with only light. But every passing second grows brighter, the glass sweats and the room grows warmer. I stand still before the spectacle, thinking that maybe it isn't over yet, maybe everything worked out. Cyrus is still somewhere in the room and yelling, though I don't think I must face the simple fact. I just want nobody to die. And now maybe everyone will. Is it my fault? Why did I even suggest anything? But if I hadn't stopped Cyrus, then this could have happened anyway, right? It's not my fault then. I was just trying to save someone. I just wanted make a difference. It's not my fault at all. Ugh! Sai has to dive onto me from his corner, blocking the window's light from my view. Is this it? Keep your head down. He covers my ears and body with his arms and torso. We need... Whooping deeply past sound resonates from outdoors. The window has shattered. Sir? He slides off of me and collapses, clutching his arm. Stop! I gasp at the sight of where he is gripping the glass stagnant through his coat and blood leaks out from his sleeve. Although along his back there are shards and his face is contorted viciously. On my knees I begin reaching out to him, but quickly pull back. It will only make things worse to touch him. I look out the window that is no longer there. It is not a beauty I care to know. No. Somewhere far away I hear Cyrus yelling. We just felt the wave, that's why. It's become self-sustaining. It's beyond the point of no return. The reaction won't stop until the whole atmosphere is gone. This world is dead, understand? It's over. I failed. Now, get us out of here. Cyrus! Hurry, damn it. I can't believe this. We failed. The light becomes overbearing, blistering, and before it can consume us, we're back. High radiation level detected. Please remain calm and wait for emergency medical personnel to assist you. It even irradiated me, although I escaped? Where is my mentor? The words come out of their own are spoken in earnest. I frantically look about the room until I find that he is right behind me, crumple into a pile, breathing heavily. I'm here, Winter. Are we going to die? You won't. What? Are you going to die? I don't think so. What happened, sir? The words roll up my throat as a stone, and I choke up as they fall apart from my lips. I have no idea why I even bother asking. Is it really all gone? The world was killed. Brighton had never tested their bomb, and it seemed they overcompensated. Whoops, that was the wrong voice. A reaction that strong will use almost any of the lighter elements as fuel. So the atmosphere was consumed and burned away in an instant, leaving the people to die. The next and last thing he says is spoken while looking up at me with bitterness and guilt in his eyes. I'm sorry. The pain and ache in his voice strike through me and my heart thumps. I can't help but cry. I knew exactly what happened. I saw what happened. I know what happened. To call this realization devastating would not be an appropriate, poignant description. My heart feels as though it's bleeding, broken, and damned. I don't even know what I'm crying over now. Just comprehending this is difficult. It's difficult. It is hard. Crying harder, my molars scraping together. I find the lower part of my palms to my eyes, trying to hold the flow back. I feel gross all over. I'm sweating cold water and feeling like mud. My stomach turns. My emotion rises even higher. But didn't we? Something wheels into the room, but I can't see it. I only can hear it. Taking my hands from my eyes, I see people in hazard suits walking towards us with a trolley in company. One comes near me, and again my words spilled out. We're sick, right? We're radiated and sick? You are. You are. And you'll have to lie on the ground to get better, okay? The other people in the room crowd over Cyrus, who decidedly deserves extra attention. Will we be alright then? Yes, it'll be alright. You'll be alright. Just lie down. What? What about my mentor? We'll be taking him to another room to look after his deeper wounds. Now come on. You need to lie down. I do so, but fairly reluctantly. I feel like I'm going to throw up, and I've heard that throwing up while lying down will drown you. I don't tell her that though, because I don't want to know if the wounds is worse if I feel like throwing up. I want to think that I'll be okay, even in this nausea. I just want to be okay. The paramedic lifts my arm and inserts an IV into the back of my hand. I flinch at the small pain, feeling more sensitive than usual. There. It should be perfectly fine from here. We're administering a drug that will clear away all the radiation inside you. It'll heal you rather quickly. Will even stop the later effects from coming on. You'll still feel the early symptoms eventually, though. You aren't going to like it. It's going to hurt, and it's going to feel disgusting. What are the early symptoms exactly? Well, you'll feel weak, you'll feel dizzy, and you'll have a headache and fever. The worst of it, though, you'll probably be puking and diarrhea. What? No. I'm sorry. There really isn't anything we can do about it. She places her gloved hand on my forehead, wiping away my sweat and hair. If you want to, we can put you to sleep and wait until the symptoms go away. I shake my head slowly. I don't want to sleep. I'll probably have nightmares or something. Which was it? Your second shadowing? Everything went so wrong so quickly, and I didn't even know anything from the start. Blaming yourself, are you? I suggested it. I started crying and raging with sadness, hatred at myself, and why? Because I don't take anything properly seriously. I was playing a game with words, and such I'm an idiot. I told him to launch it. Why? Shh. Let's stop talking about it, alright? I killed them. I saw it. It's like it's burned in me. Come on, you need to settle down. I shut up. I want to shut up. Talking puts vomit in my tongue, anyway. Can I stay here for a while? Can you speak to me a little? Sure, you have to be here for a while anyway. I'll tell you about where I'm from, okay? She does so, telling me about the western country where she grew up, and the vast fields and sinking meadows, and the sheep and dancing breeze. Being from the Sentinels, I don't know about the rolling and verdant hills and grazing animals she speaks of. I know only lawns and trees, streets with people running by, distant mountains, corner stores, small buildings, and sidewalks with many faces, all touched languishing. I mostly know my room, though. Dark and quiet, calming, familiar and safe. I'm really back, aren't I? Cyrus and I lived. I stopped thinking, and yet let her speak softly, brushing me lightly and calming me down. Feeling any better? Emotionally, at least? She smiles, seeing this clearly without her suit is on ice. What? I read that completely wrong. I feel like the most disgusting thing, but yes, I am emotionally I am much more alright. Thank you. Don't mention it. Do you want to get up now, or do you want to keep hearing me run my mouth? I like your voice. Thank you. I'll get up. I want to throw up now. At this, she jumps a little and rises, helping me up quickly but carefully. I waver and would be most completely unsteady if not for her hand. Alright. Do you need to throw up now, or can you hold it at all? I've been holding it in for 30 minutes. She sighs in a manner of defeat. You should have said so. I can hold it a little longer. I can make it to my room. Are you sure? Yes. No, but I really want to go to my room. It isn't like my room back home, but at least it feels like a proper place to rest. Okay then. Well, hurry on. Before we exit the terminal, I look back at the blood stains which indicate where Cyrus went slide. How long has it been since he has taken away? Is he doing well? I hope that he is. My roommate is at her desk when we arrive, reading it seems. Hey Waverly. Oh god. Oh, Winter! You're back! She started looking up. How'd your thing go? At the sight of me, she flinches and looks disbelieving. Oh, cackle. She immediately covered her mouth upon noticing that I'm being carried by an adult. I mean, she stared at me for an incredibly long second before turning to the paramedic and gently placing her book down. Her mouth slowly hang open as if trying to speak, but seems unsuccessful. Do you want me to help you to the bathroom? Sure. Yes, sure. My characters say nothing more and simply aid me further on. As we passed by my roommate, she jumped to attention, starting up from her seat. Is she alright? What happened to her? Radiation poisoning. Waverly sinks back down into the chair. Don't worry. Don't worry. She's not irradiated anymore. The lady opened the bathroom door and sets me on the tiles before the toilet seat. Leaning against the door frame, she looks back out at Waverly. She got the sickness, though. Yes, I do. Flipping the lid up, I immediately vomit into the toilet. It's almost like it's for the emphasis. What happened? It's probably better for her to tell you. Anyways, you must be her roommate. Waverly says nothing, but I imagine she's nodding her answer for the medic continues. Good. I need you to keep her from eating tonight. Wouldn't be any good for her in this state. I throw up again with impeccable timing. A disgusting thick and sardine spits fills my mouth, and then I try to swallow it. And I feel parting my lips to gasp. It's just kind of drips out, slimy. It's probably making me feel sicker than anything else. No shit. Oh my god, gross. She'll be in there for a while, vomiting and things worse. Just keep an eye on her. Make sure she's alright. Alright. Anything else? If she feels, if she's feeling real bad, I want you to call us down at the ward with your hall's emergency line. You know where it is, right? Yeah. Alright, one more thing. You got to get her a good breakfast tomorrow, and make sure that she drink plenty of liquids. After tonight, she'll definitely be dehydrated and more than a little starved. I want you to make certain she remedy that no matter what, understood? Okay, I will. I feel the paramedic gaze on me again. It makes me aware that my stomach is turning off noises. I hurl again. You're positive you don't want anything? Yes. Okay, I'm sure you guessed already, but your debriefing has been pushed back until tomorrow afternoon in consideration of your state. We'll be leaving you in your roommate's care now. I need to make sure your mentor procedure has gone well or going. I heard Riri gasping lightly at the second sentence. Can can you tell him that I'm sorry too? Sure. And hey, wiping my mouth with the back of my hand, I look back at the paramedic from my over my shoulder. Feel better, okay? I mean, even more better. I don't want this getting to you. You should visit one of the counselors when you're able to. Don't keep it all inside. I locked eyes with her for a time, but eventually turned back to the rancid fumes of my puke. I'll try. I can feel her smiling. Good. Hopefully I won't be seeing you, girl. I hear her footsteps as she turns to leave. Take good care of her, okay? Of course! The door opens and in another second closes. I feel in front of the toilet. I kneel in front of the toilet and retch a bit, wondering whether or not I'll be vomiting again. If this damn saliva will have anything to do with it, it'll make certain that I do. So gross. In nearly a minute, the sound of soft movement closes in on me from behind. Do you? Oh my god. Do you want? Oh, nope, not that one. Do you want me to rub your back at all? Actually, yes, I think that would help. Waverly doesn't hesitate to tiptoe to my side and bend down. She started massaging me with one hand up and down between my shoulder blades. The feeling is great, much appreciated. I feel a little bit more like throwing up now, which, come to think of it, ironically enough, is all uh, I really want. Retching is seriously so much worse than just letting it out. Thank you. Nah, it's nothing. Can you talk at all? Something comes up, but it doesn't come to pass again. I heave a few times before answering her. I don't think I can hold much of a conversation. Try nodding then. I'll just ask you yes or no questions. Ugh. How did your mediation go? You do it? I begin the movement to shake my head but stop, because I sort of did do it. Sarah and I did remedy the situation, leaning my neck right. I kind of shrug. After all, even if we managed to succeed, it led to such an awful failure that, well, does it really matter? I have no idea what that is. Like, you know, how don't you know? Do you get knocked out? I shake my head. Then it's like complicated. I nod. We managed to resolve a conflict, but not the actual conflict, but an urgent one. Oh crap. I hurl again, nearly pushing my head past the lid. When it's over, I rest my arms on the seat and my head in my hands. Waverly frowning continues to rub my back nicely. Ugh. Alright. I can't really answer past barely nodding my head. Then I guess something bad happened after that? I repeat the same head movement. Waverly pauses, clearly not sure whether or not to say what she wanted to say next. She eventually chooses yes. How bad? I looked at her. Somehow my silence and gaze conveyed the message. For a moment she stopped massaging me and looked in my eyes with a nearly empty expression, one of repressed sadness and worry. Continuing her massage, she goes direct. What happened? The world ended. Still rubbing me, her expression goes indecipherable. If I had to take guesses, the closest thing I call is scared. For several minutes she stays with me and keeps me relaxed until I'm finally done vomiting and ready to do something else. Waverly leaves the bathroom and allows me to sit on the toilet rather than in front of it, closing the door. I don't know how long it's been, but it finally seems to be over. After a brush of the teeth and a scrub of the skin, I feel as though I'm actually done. Not better though, not by any means. In fact, when I open the door, I nearly collapse. Surprisingly, Waverly is there to readily catch me. All done? I nod. Wanna go to bed now? Yeah. Then get walking. Dragging you across the room doesn't make me feel right. I can't really walk. Waverly frowns at my lack of answer and soon pulls me to my bedside. She then hoists me up and drops me on the mattress. You brought that on yourself. She looked at me sternly for a second before snickering. You're a wicked person. I can't believe this abuse. I run a strict ship. I'm like a I'm like a fairy tale orphaner, the evil one that everyone hates. I really have no idea what you're talking about. I was actually reading some of our foreign libraries, and there's a lot of stories about orphan abuse. Why would you hate orphans? That's ridiculous. Yeah, that's why they're evil. She smiles. Wanna sleep now? Yeah, well, no, but I think I should. I feel like a pile of dirt. Alright, I'll turn off the light. I nod a thanks and look up at the ceiling as the room falls to darkness. I hear Waverly enter her bed without a squeak. Hey. Yeah? What happened to Cyrus? Wasn't he your mentor today? He saved me from the explosion of glass. Last time I saw him, he was irradiated and bleeding. Waverly lets off a breathy whistle. Man, how did all that even happen? I wish it was a long story, but it's not. It was very quick, actually. It happened all fast. It's just that there were a lot of things to it. It got really hard. It turned into things it wasn't supposed to be. I could have left, but I didn't. I wanted to do something myself. I sigh. I'll tell you more tomorrow morning at breakfast. How was your shadowing? Compared to yours, it already sounds boring. I think all of ours were supposed to be boring. I went to a city and looked for a group of people who allegedly didn't exist. They did. We found them hiding in shadows. You went to a place with a malleable physics? Ah, no. It was rigid. It was some kind of science or something. Ah man, don't ask me how, because I've got no idea. None. Huh. We both fall silent, but end up chatting again in a minute. I ask her about her classmate and whether or not they've any interest in stories from today. It's mostly dull though, and I find that amusing. For everyone else, this run of shadowing has been as dull as the last. In fact, the most interesting story came from one of our year's promising student, who didn't even have a shadowing this week. He's part of the group that does it while we're on break. It's just funny. It's funny because it's kind of all just unpredictable. For some reason, unpredictability is such a silly thing to me. There's so much irony in that, considering today. Gracious, I must be totally losing it. That totally must be the case. The longer I stay here, the stranger I will become. Oh well. And that's it. Woo! A 3-hour story, huh? Oh man. Wow. That was interesting, to say the least. I forgot how much it cost. This costs, I will figure out from Steam. Hang on. Where is it? It's not on the front page anymore. There it is. $5. Wow. For $5 for a 3-hour story. I say that's a good deal, in my opinion. And the story is very interesting. And of course, there's the other ending to it too, if you're curious. I'm not going to play it, because then if I do, you probably won't go and buy the game. So, I will leave it as that. If you want to find out the other ending, you can obviously go and... It's not done. Oh! The doctor, nurses, the whatever she was, yesterday told me to make sure Winter ate... Oh. It's you now. The doctor, nurses, and whatever she was, yesterday told me to make sure that Winter ate breakfast and drank liquids. I'm not living up to that responsibility. It's already past 12 and she's still sleeping. Then, I should wake her up, right? I don't know. First off, that's really weird. I hardly know her. Secondly, just watching her in bed feels sketchy. She curls up in there looking uncomfortable. I just can't. Frankly, it's cute. Frankly, just having that opinion makes me feel scummy. Whatever. It's probably the best if she wakes up on her own. Then again, she's been shivering. She could have a fever. I glance over at her from my desk. Man, I have to check. What is this, 14 hours rest? I set my book face down with care and rise, tiptoeing over to her bedside. She's so small and pathetic, really. She reminds me of this one kid we had back at home. A runt. It feels like anything that happens to her is too much. She shivers again and I have some ideas to warm her up that would likely make our relationship even more awkward. Well, I need to at least touch her forehead and make sure she's alright. Or not, I guess. It's actually a bit cool. She sweats out a lot during the night, looks like. So I imagine any fever she had, it's gone now. I pulled back my hand. While she's readjusting, I retreat to my desk and pretend to be reading. I hear her sit up and I flinch a bit in spite of myself. Morning! Is it really? I look over my shoulder to find her rubbing her face and turning to the window. She grumbles and puts a small palm over one of her eyes. How are you feeling? Not much. I mean that I don't feel much of anything. Could be because of the medicine? She nods a little. You seem better. I guess. She abruptly flopped down to her mattress and after a small silence, I turned back to face my book. It's actually past noon, by the way. I figured. You'll have to set up for lunch instead of breakfast. I consider apologizing but restrained myself. I wonder if she even wants to eat. I'm guessing no, if that doctor was so insistent that she do so. Are you going back to sleep? I look over my shoulder again. Winter? Out like a light. Great. I'll have to steel myself later and just shake her awake, I guess. I get back to the novel in my hand. Ugh, this is getting intense. I got this book from the world's library. It's called Crime Romance Novel, or whatever. It's not strange to be interested in weird literature, is it? I don't think so, at least. I mean, come on, it's perfectly normal to be interested in unusual things. You just can't read this sort of thing from any earthen source. Nothing this terrible exists. Great. Just now? I was starting to enjoy this. I close the book and put it down, though I don't get up to answer the door. If it's someone important, like the doctor, then she'll say something. Anyone else would either tarry for a little bit or keep knocking until they're answered. Oh man, what is this? I've got a feeling. Sigh. I stand from my chair and I stretch for a bit. Only then do I step over and open the door. Hey! You got your nose in some body work again? Reading some pornography again? Answer the door quick, yeah? This is the worst possible visitor. It's like the brightest star has ascended right here in the hallway. She all smiles. I don't need this right now. I don't read pornography, Eerie. Cackle. I really don't want to hear your vile accent right now. She puts a pretense of expression of hurt. You'll insult me at the door? Ah man. So many voices, I can't do all of them. Whatever. You'll insult me at the door? Won't even bloody well invite me in? That's the kind of behavior befitting lesser people. Me, not you. I stare at her. And V, you got to be honest. I know you delay in entertaining guests for thine own fancy, but you got to admit it to one day. Huh? Admit to it? To what? Ah, wrong voice. Sorry. Whatever. I give up. There's way too many female voices and I can't do all of them. Ah. V, listen. She grabbed my shoulders and looked me in the eyes through her ridiculous transparent color shades. Listen to me. If you're not honest, you'll rot. Rot? Yeah, rot. Hard T. Says, weenie. When, what? What? Whatever. She could at least remove her hand from my person before she asked for another. So, you came to see... Oh, okay. Is weenie in? Okay, that's what it is. You came to see Winter? Her grin turns in its full obnoxious glory. Yeah. I heard she fucked up massively. I wish I'd been there to see it. Her face flushed with tears. You want to make fun of her? She laughs again, shaking me a bit. You're killing me, V. V, sweet V. Chaos hath made its a what? Chaos hath made its fun of her already. What more could I do? She nuked an entire system, man. How you even do that? Ugh. Can you even for a second attempt to resemble a decent human being? B. I just said I'm not here to make fun. I just want to see her. Maybe, mayhaps, give her little cheeks a poke or two. She's not gone. Her smile vanishes. Aye, you're right, V. You're right. Her smile returns. What does she do to fill those thighs, V? Has she let you give him a squeeze yet? Yet? She's a mess of a girl, hardly even looking a girl, but those legs. Who gave her the idea to wear those stockings of hers? Goodness! You sound like a lesbian. Me? I'm just admiring another beautiful woman. As a beautiful woman myself. Nothing lazy about that. Her lips twist a little, and she looks right into my eyes. Tell me, who here would think of another girl with lustful eyes? Who's the man, Waverly? Ah, I digress. Weenie could stand to be much more beautiful, ain't that right? Get your bloody hands off me already. She does so. So, can I come in now? No. Why on earth not? You're a bastard, Eerie. Oi. She points at me. Let's be a bit more subtle, alright? Let's keep it in fun. Fun, she says. And hey, I should be allowed in. Weenie's my best friend. She is not. By what authority dost thou make such bold claims? By common sense, ye clod. She giggles. Ye. Girl, do not even begin to talk mess about my Northwesterner voice. It's like listening to a breeze. And you're like listening to a cat being drawn and quartered. Oh? Shit. Why did I mention that? I reflexively cover my mouth as if I can grab what was said just before and can reach her ears and swallow it back. Her ears perked up. She blinks. Drawn and quartered. What's that? I refuse to answer. Is that a kind of torture? I watch it in repulsion as she quietly lifts her thumb to her mouth and gently bites her nail. Nibbling as she sways the rest of her hand in a slow motion, she gives me the slightest smile. I've been reading some interesting stuff from libraries, huh? Old waves? What's the book? Forget it. Tease. I'll find it, you faith. She leans into the door smirking. She crosses her arm and visibly relaxes. Okay, love, I want you to know that I'm loving this. And I love it purely what? But I do want to see Weenie. Mercy, this girl's persistent. Didn't I say no? Then can you tell her that I feel bad for her? Do I look like the type to spread lies? Tell her I want to see her. What for? Because I told you to. No. I mean, why do you want to see her? She shrugs. Because it's Bill's, like... That, what? Because it's Bill, like what? Like that, what Bill's character. Oh, okay. V. And I'm a scholar for characters, but study. Grinning again, she adds. Though I admit I was interested in her before, because she's like a little animal and you don't want to grab such things up and just eat them. You're coming on too strong, it's suffocating. Me? Me. She stares at me, her hands over her chest in mock disbelief. Eventually, she starts to smile. Heckle, I wish she would just go away. She drops her hand. Ha! Too bad. For me, you're such a powerful gatekeeper. I can't even catch a glimpse of the great little one from here. I guess I'll be seeing you then, V. Let's hope not. I think a teacher was gonna come round to this room a bit later. Which, I give up. No more. My throat's dying. I would tell you if I knew it, lovely. Good luck and peace. She finally departs. Right. I return to my desk in a foul mood. I don't even want to pick this book back up. Waverly, who was that just now? I put my arms on my desk and slouched, resting my cheek in my hand. Eerie. Eerie? Yeah. She wanted to talk to me? Well, no, probably not. She did want to see you, though. She wanted to... I paused. Well, we all know Eerie by now, don't we? I hear some kind of ragged, pulsing breath, which I take for Winter's laugh. We do. She's a character. I flip my book back open and begin once more from where I left off. I don't want to bother having her around. I don't want to bother hearing her around. The noise from before repeats with something of a greater intensity, leading to a coughing. I'm sorry, Winter. I'm too amusing for sick people, I guess. You're ridiculous. I'm too wonderful, amazing, astounding. Stop that. I should have chosen to go to a comedy school. You get laughed off the stage in a bad way. You laugh at my jokes and go on to say that? I shouldn't bother helping you out anymore. More ridiculousness. No, I command you. Command me? I command you to open the windows. It's hot. Winter, it's the middle of winter. I do suppose the thermostat's rather high. I started getting up, and there is my smoldering attractiveness to consider, so stifling. Oh, man. Winter laughs again as I go to complete her task. There's something special to be said about people who cause laughter with intent to breed suffering. Oh, what's that? I opened the first window. Wait, let me try to be clever. Opening the second window, I begin to return to my seat. It's better to be clever when you're quick on the take, Winter. Oh yes, I was certain I had something there. You ever gotten the feeling that there's something smart to be said if only you could figure out what it was? What? That's what happened. I sit down looking over at her. How slow are you? I feel like chilled molasses except warmth. Oh my god. I thought it was over like 20 minutes ago and it's still going. Very slow. By the way, a teacher should be coming around. Which, if I knew that, I'd tell you, lovely. Heh. I should stop that. I'm already regretting saying it once. I can hardly believe she comes from the same continent as I do. The central lands are huge, you best believe it. Plus, I'm pretty sure she's somewhat southwestern, with a name like that. Do you all sound the same in the Northwest? Yes, Winter. All 17 million of us talk exactly like me. Sorry, it's just a lot smaller. Well, honestly, the regional differences are nothing compared to the differences between the Western here and you middle folk. Well, at least our worst dialect is still understandable. Understandable? I can understand Erie just fine, actually. I let out an exaggerated groan. Please, I don't need any more talk like that in my life. I just understand it, that's all. I didn't say I'd reproduce it. I laugh a bit. She seems to have gotten more energetic, even if she is still lying in bed. It's good we're friendly, even if I do hesitate to take care of her. Having a poor roommate sounds like the worst. Winter Harrison place? Coming! As I get up, I smile at Winter. Bet on who it is. I don't know all their voices yet. I think it's our combat instructor? Souther is an ancient, Winter. It sounds more like Henry. She pulls the cover up over her face a bit in a small show of embarrassment. Adorable, but enough doubting. Hello, Mr. Penn. I was right. Good day, Waverly. How are you? Fine, fine, sir. Oh, Waverly here? Waverly's here? Isn't that... Waverly, it's been weeks since I last saw you. A bitter few weeks. So you've been fine, eh? Yes, sir. My first mentor? What is he doing here with Henry? You know, seeing them side by side, they really dress alike. Very stylish and very sharp. You mentor this child? Can you believe it? They give me the simplest job only because I'm so young. There are plenty of reasons for it, Walter. Plenty of bullshit. I've done measures better than what was it we did at Waverly? I totally forgot. It was so boring. Our first mediation are apparently always supposed to be really easy and unfortunately very lame. Long term, low danger. I think it had something to do with Earth, like moving dirt. It was something incredibly stupid. I think it was construction issues. I stand corrected. There's nothing that can top that, Henry. Playing in the mud, right? That's totally the pinnacle. Don't be a smartass, Walter. Walter, one of the more bizarre things I've encountered since becoming a mediator. He's from Earth. I can't actually peg him down at all. He's the only thing I clearly remember about my first mediation. I know. Anyway, we didn't come here to pester my protege, Winter Harrison. Right? That's right. Is she in Waverly? Yeah, but don't worry. We don't need to go get her. We just want you to relay some things. Harrison. Was that Cyrus's girl? Yes, from the dead world? You're here for the girl who went through that? Yes. Walter put on a strange, somewhat negative expression and places a hand on his hip. Pursing his lips, he looks at me, and then passed me into a room. I just kind of avoid his eyes. I don't know what Cyrus was doing. His report was nonsense. Wrong voice. Walter. Nonsense, Henry. His explanation, what went down, it's horseshit. I don't want to hear it. How did he manage to fuck things up so massively? There were simple checks to go through. I know he's all about just getting it over with, but they were children's mistakes, and he ruined a child for them. I'm going to need to talk with him later. Will you come? He doesn't listen to anything I say. If you don't persist with numbskulls, they never will. Even though he's a top-tier mediator, I don't think I've ever heard any mediation go long without talking mess about Cyrus. I'm a little pissed off with him too, not that I know entirely what went down. The death of an entire world? I wonder what they'll say about it when we have next have class. Oh god. I wonder how many other students know about it. There are so many worlds though, so many planes. Maybe they won't bother. What's one more loss? I don't know what I'm thinking. While I'm musing over my cruelly dismissive thoughts, a white square of paper moved into my eyesight. Looking up to see what letter is being held by Henry. Give this to Mrs. Harrison, will you? I take it. On the front it reads, for whenever it's too much to bear, read this. Henry Penn. Tell her to expect a meeting with me later as well. I nod. Glancing briefly inside, Henry bends to my ear and speaks in a whisper. Presently, I don't offer my condolences for or words for her, as it would be rude of me to assume her state. I prefer to talk to her directly, you see. He puts a hand on my shoulder. If this has affected you, as it likely might have, you know where my office is. He straightens up and looks at his watch. I rotate my shoulders a little. Is Winter right? I nod. Yes. Make sure Winter thinks about what happened, everything that happened. This isn't something to run away from. I nod slowly. The same goes for you, Mistress Airy. Or Ivory. He pokes my nose at the tip, and I wiggle it in irritation. What is with these men and touching? Walter smirks at me. Weirdo. Let's get going, Walter. Alright. Henry nods with his departure. Walter smiles and waves. I close the door. I stretched again and looked at Penn's letter. Who was it? My first mentor, and I look over at her. And Henry, he wrote you a letter. I draw attention to the letter by raising it a bit and flapping it lightly. Your first mentor? Walt less Latin, something Western. Moving to her bedside, I handed her the letter. I don't think you should read it yet. Winter looked it over and gives a slight shake. She frowns. Me either. I hesitantly allowed myself to smile. That's good, right? It's for when things become too much to bear. I wiggle my fingers with joking emphasis. Yeah. Resting the letter on her head, she goes quiet. You need to eat, girl. She grimaces at me. Do I really? Yes, now come. I reach down and she grudgingly extends her arm, embracing me around the back of my neck. I pick her up in my arms. What is this? I don't want to talk. I don't want to walk. You need to walk. I only pick you up since you didn't put your feet on the floor when I move in. I'm just really lethargic. I don't want to move around at all. And this wicked cough. Ye can stand, can't ye? I'm not kidding. At least just to the door. That's embarrassing. It's totally embarrassing. I don't want to be seen like this. Please, Waverly. Cackle, no. What the fuck was this word? It's like a cuss word or something? I have no idea. It's so weird to say. You've been lying on the bed long enough. Down you go. I begin to lower her. She moans and complains. Man, this girl is too light. Feels like I'm barely holding anything. After whining a bit more, she relinquishes and carefully stands. I help her to the door and pause to let her stretch her leg a little. Are you good? She's quivering and everything. I think I'm fine. Let's get going. Come on, I'll hold on to you at least. Thanks. I need that, I think. Is it over? Whew! Congratulations on completing the game. You may now save your profile. Saving profile allows for a future episode of Dysfunctional System to remember your choice. Be sure to give your profile a descriptive name so you can recognize them later. Note, multiple profile may share the same name. Okay. Uh, Alright. So, it actually gone on for 3 hours and 30 minutes, guys, not 3 hours. So, yeah, that's... Oh, man, so I don't know, like, is the next part going to be with Waverly? Or is it still going to be with... I don't know. I don't know. But, that was a really good story. I liked it. It's completely different than most other things out there. It's a visual novel, you know, and you can decide how to change one thing in the game or in the story usually, and it really doesn't impact much. As you can see, the world still blows up. I'm pretty sure the other option, the world still blows up, but the point is to change the character. So hopefully, I don't know how this is gonna affect episode 2, but we'll have to wait for that. So yeah, episode 1, learning to manage chaos, very good. For $5, I say go get it. $5 for a really good 3.5 hour story. Yeah, I say it's worth your time. Let's see, anything else? Not really. I'm not gonna give it anything, score anything, because it's not actually a game. And if I score it like a game, then this is gonna get a very low score. So let's not do that. But what I'll do is start saying that, like I said, a very good story. You just have to sit through and read it though. If you don't like reading, it's definitely not for you, for obvious cases. I don't like reading, but I like reading stories, so differences, right? So hopefully you guys enjoy the entire gameplay, the entire story. Hope my reading didn't distract you too much, but apparently not, since you're watching this. So, and I hope that instead of my reading distracting you, I hope that it allows you to actually sit there and listen, I guess, to the story. So there you go. One last thing I want to say before I sign off here is that I wish there was more visual novels. I really do. I love reading visual novels, especially ones with really good stories, and they're really cheap. They're not expensive. $5 for 3.5 hours. I would say that's about the same cost as a manga. And mangas are usually more expensive because you have to print it. So manga is like what, $8-9 if you actually buy one in America. So yeah, it's actually a little bit more expensive than this 3.5 hours. And usually a single volume of a manga usually lasts you 3.5 hours. You sit there and content with reading anyways. So there you go. My opinion on this game: if you like a story, if you want to find out the other ending, like I said in the part before the epilogue, is that if you want to figure out the other side to the story, you should go get the game yourself. I'm not gonna play it, or I will play it, but I'm not gonna put it on to my channel because I want you guys to actually go and buy this game. Okay, so there you go. Thank you for watching or listening, whatever, and I will see you guys in another video. Hopefully it'll be a fun game. So bye. Oh, my voice is so dead.